Bonjour, everybody. Hi, this is Neshi Locatz. Welcome to Star Nations Organization's main fan page and the morning live stream about the card draw for the day, the energy for the day. Every morning I draw a card, and I've been doing this for years, asking my spiritual team, what is the most important energy I need to know for today? What's the most important for us for the highest good? And so that is what the live stream is about. And it's Monday, July 23rd, 2018, just in case you didn't know what year it was. Sometimes I've done that, I can't believe. Last Friday, in the afternoon, I got really, really busy. I was trying to get caught up on email messages and pieces that I promised people that I would get to them. And I was trying to work really hard on it. I got lost in the work. Do you ever do that? Like, you space out time and all of that, and you're just really focused, right? And for a moment in the afternoon, I thought it was Thursday. I had a call on Friday afternoon with one of our show hosts, and it's like, and I thought it was Thursday, and I knew it was Friday in the morning. Did you ever do that? That's silly stuff, especially when you get so engrossed, right? Right. So this Monday morning, hey, everybody in the chat room. I'm going to try to scroll up to see who's all here. And I don't understand why sometimes I can scroll and sometimes I can't. Not letting me scroll. And I do see Stephanie. Good morning, Stephanie. And Mervin's with us. Good afternoon to Mervin Kelly over there across the pond. Elise is here with us, and Mary Zakowitz. Good morning, everybody. Mary Anderson Fry is with us. And Elise says you need an assistant. There has been some time where I sat down and kind of considered all of this, and even Paul and I went out and took a lunch time away, and we were just talking, getting caught up, and I told him, I said, I need to do something, because they're adding more to it, to the plate. And I said, I said, I don't know if I need an assistant, or I don't know if I need somebody to run the publishing end, or somebody to run the academy end, or the live stream shows, and helping with the promotion, and somebody for the website and all of that. And I do need somebody. That is very, very clear. I do need somebody, but I'm just not sure who that somebody is, and which pieces, so that we can, work as a team, and it would actually free me up to do CEO work, planning, doing a little planning for the future kind of stuff. And now that I feel like we're pretty stable, it's time to do that kind of dreaming and bringing it into the physical plane. So you're absolutely right, Elise. I'm not sure if I need a actual physical assistant, but possible. Good morning, Rochelle. I'm so glad you guys are with me this morning, on this Monday morning, this gorgeous, gorgeous Monday morning. So I'm going to try to do something a little different here this morning. Hey, Jill Conrad's with us too. Woohoo. And Marlene Farrell. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so glad you're with me this morning, because I want to do a couple things. I have to remember to do this. I get talking and I forget. Is that this has been, let's see, May, June, July. We're heading into our third full month of doing these live stream morning shows. It's not even a show. I haven't named it. Elise calls it Neshi's non-show, which is maybe the best name for it. But anyway, what I'd like you to do for me, because I'm going to test something out, and then for the next couple of weeks, is that if you could please like and share the broadcast, okay? We haven't been doing that hardly at all for these morning get-togethers. And so what I'm seeing is that we have a consistency in who is with me in the morning, which I love, because I really feel like we're sitting around my dining room table and just having a chat, about the energy for the day. So if you wouldn't mind doing that for me, we're going to do this for the next couple of weeks. I just want to see, what Facebook does with that. Yeah. Every time I try to figure out Facebook and what they want and how they want it, something changes. And that's what I was dealing with yesterday. I couldn't, yeah. They changed something and about the images that we use when we schedule a show, and I don't like it. I spend a lot of time on creating the images for our live stream shows for when they appear as notifications through Facebook, and they are deciding which image they're going to use, and they're using the cover image for this fan page, which I love. It's our whole team with live stream show hosts and contributing writers. But when they used it, the photo is blurry, it's out of focus, and they're only showing half of it. So I don't get that. So I'm going to be contacting somebody somehow on Facebook today. Yay, CEO work. Yeah, it's a happy Monday. It really is, Mary. It really is a happy Monday. It was a kind of smooth Monday at my house. Mondays can kind of get a little hectic because we never really know how Mom is going to be after her bath, right? After her shower. And sometimes it could get kind of challenging with the pain level. But this morning, smooth, piece of cake. She says she's contributing it to the weather because it's been beautiful. And so anyway, we had our morning laugh already today. And so, because Mom and I try to have one good laugh a day, and we already got it in there. It was early morning. So I keep looking to my right because I want to remember there's something else that I want to share with you. I should have brought them over, but there's a lot of them, and they're kind of heavy all together. I am going to be selecting as random as I possibly can. That's why I was trying to scroll up. Oh, thank you, Elise. I appreciate that. She shared. So did Marlene. Thank you. And Rochelle, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We publish a magazine. It's a spiritually based magazine. All of the contributing writers in there are either live stream show hosts, or they are spiritual teachers, or they have a spiritual clientele. They're a light worker, right? All of them are. And we've been publishing this magazine since October of 2013. And so I order every month, a print copy. Why? Because I believe that I need to see it. If we're using this as a medium, I need to see what it looks like and not just say we offer it, but I actually get one, right? So I have, almost 5 years worth of magazines, print magazines. And so I was thinking, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a giveaway, at least a couple times a month. Maybe the second and fourth week of the month is that I'm going to be gifting a print magazine. Now they are past issue magazines, but still good information. And there are many people who subscribe to the digital magazine, and they keep the copy, in their reading in their library because they use it as a reference. So I'm going to be selecting at least one person out of this morning group, and I'm going to be sending you a free magazine. Yeah, it's a gift. It's a giveaway. Don't you just love those? I love giveaways. And so I'm going to be asking, before we end the show, for the persons to send me a private message with your mailing address, your postal address. And so I can select a magazine for you and send it out to you. Okay. All right. Now I just have to remember to do that. We get talking and I forget to do things. All right. Well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about hey, Rob Kendall joined. All right. So this is a card that came to me this morning, asking my my spiritual team for assistance in showing me, excuse me, showing me the energy for the day and what's important for us to know, right? And so here we are. It's the West Shield. It's about introspection and goals. Introspection and goals. And that is a bear there in the center of the shield. And the colors of the West in Jamie Sam's world for the medicine wheel is black and blue. And that's another reason why I like Jamie Sam's. There are many reasons why I do. But that there's 587, I believe now, federally recognized tribal nations here on Turtle Island. And but there are many more. There are many more nations, but they may not be federally recognized. Okay, in other words, they don't meet the criteria of the Bureau of Indian Affairs and the federal government in the Interior Department, right? So, and there is a belief, one of those commonalities that run through each of the nations, and that is the four directions, okay, and a medicine wheel. I'm not going to say the medicine wheel, but a medicine wheel belief, a sacred hoop belief, and how it's interpreted is different, slightly different to majorly different between the nations. And Jamie Sams writes from a perspective of her roots, which is the Seneca Nation out of the northeast part of the United States, part of the Iroquois Nation, Iroquois Confederacy, I should say. I think it's seven tribal nations that make up the Iroquois Confederacy, the Haudenosaunee, yeah. And in her interpretation of the medicine wheel, much of it comes from the Seneca belief. Some of it comes from the Osheti-Sakoe belief, which is the Great Sioux Nation. Okay, and what I've learned about the medicine wheel after all these years is that it is based on our geography, where we're located, and nature around us. So you may find different animals in representing the different directions. And it's not going to always be the bear in the west and in the north. I'm sorry, see? The Potawatomi put the bear in the north, not the west. The west is about the buffalo and the wild horses and the wolf in the way that I've learned the medicine wheel. So, with the bear in the west, where Jamie Sam places it, and the colors, we believe, the Potawatomi believe, that the road that runs from east to west is called the Blue Road or the Black Road. And I think that's Osheti-Sakoe uses the Black Road. And we use the Blue Road. And because that's the road of spirit, right? And since we are spirit and having a physical experience, and we're heading from the east to the west, from our mind to our hearts, to our emotions in the west, and learning how to master both, that we believe is part of our existence here. Part of why we're here is to learn how to do that in a balanced way, in a good way, they say. So when she uses the colors of black and blue in the West, I have to smile because those are the colors that I use. And that is the colors on the door of the Star Nations Academy from where I'm broadcasting from right now. The door faces west, and I painted it blue with black trim. Blue with black trim. You can't make this stuff up, you know? because I wasn't looking at Jamie Sam's card when I chose the colors for the door. Hey, Rob Kendall. He's saying, hey, Neshi Locots. And Rochelle goes, there's that raccoon. I know that raccoon is just for you, Rochelle. Just for you. And Lisa's saying, just his nose, but he's peeking at us. Yep. Oh, thank you, Mary. She said shared. Uh-huh. Thank you so much, Mary. I appreciate that. And so the West Shield, we've had before earlier when we started the card drawing live streams. Probably, I would say end of May, early June is when we received this card the first time. This is actually the second time we have done this card, the West Shield. And here's what Jamie Sams has to say about it. She says that the West is a traditional home of bear on the medicine wheel. The color of this direction is black, which represents the void, where the answers live in the dark cave of the bear. The ability to go within and to introspect is the female energy, which is receptive. So when we are in that introspective state, when we take the time to be quiet, to contemplate, to listen, to look within, that's the female state. It's receptive. The male state is about not just the thinking, it's about the doing. It's about the doing, the activity, right? And so, generally speaking, I would say the two-leggeds, that would be us. We spend a lot of our time in the doing state. And it's been for generations. And so it's kind of ingrained into us. And I don't know about other states because I've never really lived anywhere but here in Oklahoma. But there is this Midwestern belief that, about the productivity, that you have a good work ethic. In other words, you're working all the time. You're producing something all the time. That if you take time to relax, then you have too much time on your hands. You should be doing something productive, right? And so when to take the time to be introspective is going against the grain, is what I'm trying to say. And so, and actually that's one of the beliefs that I had to think about this was years ago. I was looking at my different belief systems, the different things that I believed in during a time when my life was really shifting dramatically. And I was looking at things like, is this a truth for me anymore? How does it serve me? Does it serve me? Or am I just believing this is because this is what I was told since I was little? And is it a truth for me? And so there are some things that I decided that doesn't serve me well. And so I stepped away from it. Much had to do with the gender roles. And so that I spent time being introspective. I spent time in the female state. And it does, and if you're going to be doing that kind of work for yourself, is that you are quiet. You spend time alone. You spend time in quiet contemplation, listening, delving into that part of you that she talks about is part of that void, right? Part of the darkness. She also says we were the future generations of our parents. What future holds is always in the West and the place of our tomorrows. And the reason why she talks about that is because that's where the sun sets. That is the end of our day. And that we spend in the dark, we spend time contemplating introspection of what the next day is going to bring. What is the future going to bring? She says to understand the West is a looking within place. We must first understand our natures unless we are connected to all of our relation. And she's talking about all of our animal relatives, all of our nature relatives, everything that that we know we have this connection, that it's a deep-seated knowing, okay? And she says that in all the other life forms, from the atom to the star nations, we feel that the answers live outside of us. When we're disconnected from all of creation, when we're disconnected, that's when we start looking for the answers outside of ourselves rather than within. She says, in our earthly bodies, our cells carry memory of all that has ever been. I like that. I'm going to say that again. In our earthly bodies, our cells carry memory of all that has been. Answers live in our spirit's knowing potential. And so when you hear the phrase, at a soul level, you already know. At a soul level, you already know. That's what that means, is that our cellular memory and our connection to all of creation, we already have the answer within. We just have to connect to it. And it's in that connection. It's in that trusting in ourselves to have that answer. And that's why we turn to our spiritual team. And we have a huge team. It's just not a couple of spirits that are guiding us. We have a huge team. And you include, if you include the rock or the stone people, the people that, the spirits that record everything that has happened on Earth, everything. So if you have a favorite stone, some people love to collect stones. They're on a walk and they're picking up stones and they're holding the stones. And you'll see the stones when they go into their house. They'll see little parts of their collection all over the place, right? Inside and out. When you turn your consciousness to it and just even hold one of the stones and listen, ask, what kind of information do you hold for me? What's important for me to know of the information that you have, and then listen. And when I say listen, we're putting those thin ears on, right? That we talked about yesterday. Putting your thin ears on and listening with your whole being, your attentive listening. You're just not listening with your physical ears. You're listening with your heart. You're listening with all of your chakras. You're listening. And then you have this, we call it that knowing, that knowingness. That's because of the connection to the stone. Maybe it's better to call it soul to soul or spirit to spirit communication. That sounds good. I like that. Spirit to spirit communication. Does that make sense? Have you ever felt that? Even if whether you're holding the stone or sitting up against a tree or just taking a walk in nature, and many times my grandpa used to do that, my Misho. He would take a walk out in the woods and he'd be gone for, a while. Now that was before he went blind. But he would go out and take a walk in the woods. If he wanted to know an answer to something, he would go out and take a walk in the woods. He would also do travel work too. He would do soul traveling, but he told us that we were supposed to watch nature, watch the animals. They know. Yeah. Let's see. I want to check messages here. Behind, and then I have to scroll. Hi, Rhonda Simon. Good morning to you. Rob is saying it's because of the heavy influx of Scandinavian and Central European immigrants. That's so true. Very true. Germanic and Norwegian, and I'm probably missing one there too, but yeah, very much so. Yeah, that's true. If you're not working yourself to death, you're not working. And God only loves those who work themselves to death. Well, that's one of their beliefs, that's for sure. Rochelle says you deserve a vacation. I am. I will. I will be taking one. I'm not exactly sure when. I have to plan that out. Paul and I were just talking about that last night. Rob is saying, compared to a Northern European winter, I suppose it's preferable. That's true, because it gets pretty cold. And Marlene is saying, having internet issues, hope I don't miss too much. Just try refreshing. Sometimes that works. Marlene says, I like to do that too. So true. And Rochelle, I have collected stones since I was 3. Yeah, just, when you're looking at your stone collection and say, who wants to have a nice chat with me? You can say that out loud or just say it to yourself, and then notice where your attention is being drawn, and then choose one of them. Just pick one of them up and just sit with it for a little bit. Nathan, card, please. Yeah, we don't do individual card reads here on this particular live stream. I just draw a card for what spirit would like us to know for today about the energy flowing today. If you'd like to participate in card reads, we do have live stream shows here at Star Nations Radio Network with the live stream shows here on Facebook. Julie Hedges on the Tarot Journey does tarot card draws, and her show, that's the third Monday of the month. And then every week, Polly Jo LeBay, her show Soul Connections, that's on Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern. She does card draws with that. That's actually healing meditation, and then card draws after the meditation. And I'm trying to think, does anybody else do a card draw? I don't think so. But if you want to tune in on Wednesday evening, Nathan, and just say yes, please to Polly Jo. She'll draw a card for you. Okay, good. And Mervyn, Nellie is saying, yep, doing that connection to nature. And Jill too, and Marlene too. I'm so glad. Oh, the Finns and the Danes. Yeah, the Finns, not many Danes, but the Finnish, way up north, near Lake Superior, most definitely Finnish people. Yeah, when gotta set the goal, yes. And Mervyn and St. Bernard said, you will find something more in woods than in books. Trees and stones teach you that which you can never learn from masters. I like that. Yeah, what was his name? St. Bernard. Yeah, that would something that St. Francis might say too, right? About nature. He was pretty connected to nature too. All right, so let's see. Jamie Sams did share about a story about the grizzly bear that represents the spirit of the West. And she shared that there are 3 pathways to understanding how to look within and reach our goals are like the actions of the grizzly. The first path is to enter the stillness of the sacred space. That's yourself, your sacred space. She says that allowing our female receptive side to come forward to magnetize or receive in silence. So it's also called entering the silence. Entering the silence. And it is the Onondaga of the Iroquois Nation that talk about going into the silence. And that is that deep introspection. She says that the second path is integrating the information and discerning what our personal truth is. It's the second step which nurtures the answers received on the third path. So in the second path is gathering all that information and seeing if it's a truth for you. So it's in that discernment. And my goodness, here at Star Nations, don't we use that word a lot? Discerning. You're checking in with yourself. Is this a truth for me? Does this resonate with me? And with that, we really do remember how to trust our own intuition. Right. Instead of relying on someone else's. Yeah. And Rob is saying Saint Bernard of Clairvaux. Is that how you pronounce it? I wonder. Yep. Rob and Nellie are on it. Saint Bernard. Um, Rob says, "Sorry, Nellie, wasn't trying to steal your thunder." I don't think you did. I think you guys were on it together. Yeah, kind of nice. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that information about Saint Bernard. And we're not talking about the dog, is what Rob had put. Rob's got quite a keen sense of humor, right? Between these two guys, Rob and Mervyn, we call him Nellie. They have a really, they make me laugh. Their sense of humors, and individually and together, they make me laugh. Jamie Sams also goes on to say about this third path. The third path is, let's see if I can find it, and it is, lost my place. See what I talk about, sense of humors, right? All right, she says that the third path is a structure based on personal truth. If we have a knowing about our digested ideas, we then formulate a plan on how to attain our goals. That's the structure. If our goals are based on our personal truth and desire, they'll be approached with joy. So the third path is really about knowing yourself and setting your goals. Plan your work and work your plan. There we are, back to work again. There's that 4-letter word again. And so it really, so the application of this card, the West Shield, is about looking at your present goals and discern how they affect your future. Bear also reminds us that the West Shield is a place of all tomorrows. If you are afraid of the unknown, it may be time to clear away fear. Strength to accomplish this clearing is the bear's greatest medicine. So you can always call on Bear to help you with that, the bear medicine. Call on Bear and feel the courage to meet the future will fill your spirit, she writes. In all cases, the West Shield speaks of the ability to complete our goals and acknowledge of our inner strength and the power to find and know our own answers. That is the part that I so resonate with, is that we have the power to find and know our own answers. Yeah. It is so, I think, the way I teach is that it's so important to remember, to remember your own truths, how to achieve them, because we all have it. Yeah, I know that it's easier to go to somebody who does a lot of readings, and I'm not discounting readers, because there's a place for that too. But I believe that we should be checking within first, exhausting all of our tools on our end, and then reaching out for help when we've exhausted that. Because sometimes we're just, especially when you're in the middle of a situation, some people call it a crisis, that we're too close to the situation. Our emotions could be like really out of balance. And so it's hard for us to take in the spiritual information. And so those are the times that we reach out for help. Those are the times that we reach out to other healers, other people who do psychic readings like that, when we're so close to the situation that we can't see the forest for the trees, that's a good time to reach out for help. But I'm a firm believer in going within first and asking for the spiritual guidance from our spiritual team to find our answers first, because I think it gets so, it's almost like going through a drive-through for fast food, and I'm probably I don't mean to step on anybody's toes, because I know there's some really gifted readers that we have in Star Nation's community, and it's not to say that they shouldn't be used or called upon. There's a time and a place for that. What did they say? Divine timing, right? I mean, I've tapped into other readers when I was going through my issues in 2017. I turned to people who I trusted and asked them for help. And so Julie Hedges was one of those people, and she helped me with astrology, understanding my astrology, and that Saturn was going through my sun sign, and so helped me to understand that, and which was very helpful. Teresa Girardi, one of my sisters, she helped me through tapping. They were here, and we were doing, and she is so good at that. I was already past the time of reaching out for help. And and then there was Minnie Kansman who helped me. My BFF from grade school and high school. We've known each other forever. Marley, she actually was the first one at my door, knocking on my door saying, "How can I help?" And she's the one who suggested valerian, because I wasn't sleeping very well. And so, and she suggested that just so that I could get the needed sleep that I desperately needed. So reaching out is a good thing, but I really do believe that we need to look within first, and then ask for help. I hope that makes sense. I hope it does. All right. You guys are so funny. All right. Rob is so knowledgeable in that historical stuff. He says the Second Crusade weighed heavy on his conscience. St. Bernard, I think he's talking about, and wouldn't have happened without his preaching for it. Yeah. The guys are having a deep conversation about that piece in the live chat. I love seeing that. Yeah, Mary, yeah, it's so hard to ask for help, isn't it? And I know that part of that reason is the vulnerability, right? And there's also another belief system, is that and not showing your weaknesses, which is a vulnerability. Never let them see you cry. That was my mom. Never let them know how they affect you. Never let them know what really makes you happy, or really what makes you sad, because that's power. That's giving them the way to hurt you, and so and so that's what I grew up with, and leaving that behind, because it didn't serve me. Yeah, and coming to the point of it, when you are going through what they call the dark night of your soul, and you're literally on your knees, flat on your back sometimes, you're at the point of surrender, and that is when you start asking for help. And I don't know why that has to happen that way, but that's what happened for me. And it was in that surrender that I reached out to people that I knew, that I thought I knew loved me, and turned out to be not so. And then you find out who's really there for you, which I think is a good thing. It's really a good thing. And so they came, and so I turned that corner, and I'm still integrating all the stuff that I learned and all of that. Yeah, it's good. Getting through it was difficult. It was a challenge, but I brought that on myself. Total responsibility for that. Jill is saying, all connected, finding your truth through contemplation in deep connection in nature. We discover we are nature. Yes. Had to pull all that together. Yes, exactly. We're not separate from it. We are it. They are us. That's where The Mayans say in Lakesh Alakin. In Lakesh Alakin. I am you, you are me. That's another way of saying all my relatives. Yage Nagonan, all my relatives. Matakwiasan, all my relation. It's the same thing. Yeah. So every time I draw a card from Jamie Sam's Sacred Path deck, I also draw from her other deck, the medicine cards, and I ask which animal relative can help us understand the essence of the card drawn, which is the West Shield, with more clarity and depth, right? And this is who showed up. Squirrel. Isn't he cute? Isn't he cute? My husband Paul, he received a native name, a spirit name. We'd been together probably 20 years at that point, and my mom actually gave him a name, and it's he has a name of one of my Misho's aunts, because that's how we do our naming in our family. Their family names passed from one generation to another. And her name was Squirrel. And so, and the reason my mom gave him that name, because that used to be Paul's nickname when he was a kid, Squirrel. And when I first met him, it was like he had so much energy that after we were married, I was watching him do stuff. It's like I used to tell, and I don't say this anymore, but I used to say, God, you like a red squirrel on speed. Like darting all over the place. Or when a squirrel is in the middle of the road and you're driving and you see the squirrel, you don't want to hit him, right? But it's like he doesn't know where to run. He's kind of going forward and backward, and he's like, just cross the street and get out of the street. Squirrel. But how can Squirrel help us with understand the essence of the West Shield, right? Here's how. Jamie writes that Squirrel teaches us to plan ahead for the winter. This furry creature is very diverse in nature. Although they can be nerve-wracking if you're dealing with persons with squirrel medicine. And I have to agree. I think squirrel medicine represents the Gemini, to tell you the truth. That's because I'm surrounded by Geminis. She says, gathering power of the squirrel medicine is a great gift. It teaches you how to gather and store your energy for times of need. It teaches you to reserve something for the future. The West Shield card, according to Jamie, is about the future. It's about going into that deep introspection and finding out about yourself. Yeah. And I'm looking at the comments. Jill's saying, it makes sense. It's challenging to do. Mm-hmm. Rochelle says, I don't have a hard time asking for help. Just ask. Yeah. That's good, though. That's a role model right there. Yeah. And Rob is saying, as a druid, I'm not surprised Nellie knows St. Bernard. Exactly. Knows a lot about him. Stephanie says, never let me see you cry. Was some of the worst advice I was given when Ben was in NICU. It made it 50 times harder. I know. And then it's double fold, or maybe even triple fold, is that never let them see you cry. And that means that you're suppressing or repressing that emotion. And so that's got to come out somewhere, right? And sometimes it's an implosion, which doesn't help, really doesn't help. Or it's an explosion, and then there's collateral damage. In other words, you have said something and it's going to affect the people around you. And there's some things that you can say you're sorry, but it's not ever going to, that relationship will never be the same again. Yeah. So the repressing those emotions that bring up the tears is never helpful. It's so detrimental. Whereas I've learned I need that ugly cry. It's a pressure release valve. And I usually, most of the time, I do it on my own by myself. Occasionally, Paul is around to see it. And now I have my sisters who have seen it and experienced it. Marley already knows about it. She's known me for over 40 years. So, yeah, you just have to let it out. Got to. Rochelle is saying I dreamt about squirrels last night. You did? Rob says, like a cat. He aims for your tires. I know. I just want to get out of the car and say, get across the street. Rob is saying a cat always aims for your feet when you're trying to avoid them until you trip and fall or drop something. That's true. That's true. Jill is saying, no, squirrels aren't cute. I just discovered one ate through my window screen and wreaked havoc, not feeling the love. Oh, Jill. And that's her truth. Stand in that truth, Jill. Okay. There are many different kinds of squirrels. Many different kinds of squirrels. Red squirrels are very destructive. Very destructive. They chew through so much stuff. They're the ones that get into your attic. Red squirrels. That's what I meant about red squirrels on speed, because they're everywhere and they dart everywhere. There's flying squirrels. Have you ever seen a flying squirrel? Those are so cool. And they only come out at night. So they're nocturnal, right? And then there's, I don't know what species this is, but the squirrels with the really fuzzy tipped ears, and they're really furry, fuzzy. They're kind of cute. And then there's the 13-line ground squirrel, chipmunk. I don't know if they're really squirrels, but there are many different squirrels. And so there are also screen-eating squirrels, it sounds like. Jamie Sam goes on to write that if Squirrel has scurried into your cards today, it may be that you're being told to honor your future by readying yourself to change. The message could be to lighten your load if you have gathered too many things that do not serve you. So that's how it fits into the West Shield. It's about planning somewhat for the future. I mean, we can't spend all of our time out there in the planning of the future, because that means that you're not present in your life right now. But we should take some time to set goals. We should take some time to do that introspection and what's the truth for me now, and and planning our goals out, right? That's how Squirrel helps us. She says, Squirrel has another lesson which can aid you if you observe what is obvious and which can prepare you for anything. It has to do with a safe place in which to put your gatherings. Let me say that again. It has to do with a safe place in which to put your gatherings. To squirrel it away. Isn't that a saying? To squirrel it away. This safe place is an untroubled heart and mind, and that which is gathered to put in this place is wisdom and caring. The energies gathered will set your mind and heart free, so that you'll know that all will be taken care of in its own time. Apply this to your fears about the future, and they will vanish. I like that last paragraph. That's the one that went right to my heart. I knew it resonated. Michelle, I have 4 cats. Oh, I didn't know that. Nellie is saying native red squirrels are endangered here. Huh. And we have red squirrels everywhere. They hang out with moose. Okay, that one went right over my head. Sorry, Rob. You're going to have to explain that one. They hang out with moose. Is it because they're endangered? Moose endangered? I don't think they are in Canada. They might be here in the United States. So squirrel. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Here's the poem for squirrel. Squirrel, you have gathered nuts by the score, exactly predicting if you'll need more. Teach me to take no more than I need, trusting great mystery to harvest the seed. Now that Jamie Sams is actually a true poet, I think. Almost bard-like. Almost bard-like. All right. So I'm looking at the time. I'm going to see how I can do this. Okay, there was two names that came up that when I was watching. All right. Oh my gosh. All right. I lost the name. All right. So Marlene Farrell. Marlene Farrell. If you can send me your postal address, okay, your postal address, I'm going to send you a giveaway. It's free. One of the print magazines that I have. It's going to be a past issue, but they're all still really good. All right. I'm going to send you one. So if you could send me your postal address. And the other name that came up is almost and that was Jill Conrad. I don't know if I have your mailing address. I might have at one time. I'm pretty sure I did. But if you could also private message me your postal mailing address, I will send you out a print magazine, Star Nations magazine, okay? I know I was going to only do one, but both names came up almost at the same time. Simultaneously, they say. All right, so that would be Marlene and Jill. If you could private message me your mailing address, okay? And Marlene, if we're not friends, you may have to send me a friend request first before you do that, okay? All right. So much fun. And all right, I'm just going to do it. Give me a second. I'm going to bring the container over. Got to turn it around. Can you see them? All right. There's quite a few in here. So this is almost 5 years worth of magazines here. So we're going to be doing a bit of a giveaway. I look at those and I think, oh my God, those were all so much fun putting together and getting it done. Well, you're welcome, Jill. You're welcome. Yeah, I'm going to practice that intuition. I'll spread them out and see which one is meant for Jill and which one's meant for Marlene. And we'll get those sent out. So starting month, this is a new week, right? New week. Brand new, spanking new, as they say. It's going to be a busy week. Why? Because we have a lot of great shows coming up. We have on Tuesday night's my show, Communications from Home, and we're doing the Unity Breath Meditation. It's pretty powerful because we're doing it together. We're remembering our connection to Grandmother Earth and Grandfather Sky, and getting into that vibration, that frequency of love. Yeah, it's a meditation that's really good for us individually, but when we do it together, it creates a huge energy field of love. And so we're doing our work as healers and as light workers to be able to create that kind of energy field that affects more than just us. It's got a big ripple effect. So if you can join me Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, that would be grand if you could do that. And then Tuesday at noon is Polly Jo's show, Chakra Sessions, and she's going to be talking to us about why it's important to have balanced chakras. Why is that? And then doing a healing meditation around that. On Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern, is Soul Connections with Polly Joe. And that is a show that is meant for healing. It's not even really a show. It's a time, she calls it a divine hour of healing and messages. That's it. Messages. Healing and messages. So if you are an energy worker of one kind or another, and you haven't carved out time for yourself to do your own healing work, this is a chance. This is an opportunity to be able to do that. Yeah, and when I miss a show, when I miss that time frame, I go back and listen to it on the recording, because I'm one of those energy workers that I don't carve out enough time for myself to do my own healing work, and so it gets put on my calendar, and that's what I'm there for that hour. And she does the card readings afterwards. So Nathan, the person who was asking for an individual card, that is a good time to draw a card for you. So, and then Thursday is Elders Day here at Star Nations. In the morning is Connie Shearwater, got to get her whole name in there, for her show, Spiritual Mysteries of Life. And that is on 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern. Yeah, and she talks about the mysteries of life and how our soul, our spirit, is experiencing life here on Earth. And then in the evening is the Mystery School. The Mystery School with Ortrun and Carl Franklin. Oh my God. And I get to produce both these shows. We're going to be talking about, and I say we because Ortrun had some surgery done. She's doing really well, but in the recuperation process. And so Carl and I are going to be doing the show on Thursday. You might see Ortrun depending on how she's feeling. She might pop in and say hi and be a part of the show. But we're talking about the ascension process from a little bit of a different perspective. We're talk about those belief systems, and how organized, structured religion beliefs can be a interference or a barrier, and being. I'm hoping we're going to get some real gems from Carl about how we can discern for ourselves what's the truth. Yeah, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. All right. So I hope you can join us for any and all of those shows. I'd appreciate it. And Rochelle is saying thank you for a great non-show. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. All right. With that, please enjoy the rest of your day and take whatever resonated with you today in the information that was shared, and see how the energy unfolds for you today, how Squirrel can help you. Call on the medicine of Squirrel or on the medicine of the grizzly bear for the Western Shield, and see how that goes for you. Notice if you're a participant or a direct or witness, bearing witness to it, to the unfolding of the energy. If it didn't resonate with you, that's all right. Just leave it go. Maybe you get to share it with somebody else that needs it. With that, we'll say Bama Mida, and that means in Padawanmi until we see each other again, which is tomorrow for the card draw. All right. Have a good Monday.